10 places to visit in Argentina. 1. Buenos Aires. Welcome to one of South America's most marveling cities. Buenos Aires is most tourists' gateway into the country, either via the Ezeiza International Airport, or the ferry from Uruguay. Tango halls and nightclubs pump until dawn. The vivid streets of La Boca and San Telmo's Sunday markets have a thrilled atmosphere. The structure feels like it's been pinched straight off the streets of Paris or Madrid. With impressive landmarks like the President's Casa Rosada mansion in the city center, and the embellished graves of the Recoleta Cemetery. A visit to Boca Juniors Bombonera and River Plate's Monumental is a tick that every football fan needs to make on their bucket list. Forget about the food. The steak in a parrilla, then some dulce de leche-laden alfajores for dessert. This prominent city buzzes 24 hours a day, and well and truly deserves to headline any discussion of places to go in Argentina. 2. Iguazu. More than 250 towering waterfalls form Argentina's natural border with Brazil and Paraguay in the northeast of the country. And although the views of the falls might be more breathtaking from the Brazilian side, the experience is more engaging on the Argentine edge, where you can hop on a boat right under the Cascades and navigate a network of walking trails palmed through the mist, dodging the resident along the way. Iguazu means big water in the indigenous Guarani language. And you get a full sense of just how big the water is when you hear the roar up close and personal in Argentina's Parque Nacional Iguazu, accessed from the hostel-friendly town of Puerto Iguazu. 3. Patagonia. This is where the sportswear brand got its name from. A mammoth region spread across Chile and Argentina that basically covers everything from the Argentine province of Rio Negro south. The hot spot, of course, is the Perito Moreno Glacier, a 30 kilometers long river of ice that advances 2 meters a day, and sends huge bits of ice tumbling 60 meters into the water with an almighty thump. And it's not just the scale of the glacier that's impressive, it's how accessible it is, with a convenient peninsula providing a front row seat to this thunderous show. El Calafate is where you'll spend the night before going into the Parque Nacional Los Glaciares for the day, crossing the Chilean border into Torres del Paine, or going on a boat tour through glassy glacial lakes. A little further north, Mount Fitzroy is Patagonia's other postcard-perfect picture. This craggy peak towers over the town of El Chaltén, a hiking paradise linked to a tangle of breathtaking treks right on its doorstep. Best to visit during the warmer months before the trails freeze over mid-year. Plenty of hostels completely close between April and October. 4. Tierra del Fuego. The very bottom of the country is home to one of the top places to visit in Argentina. Cut off from the rest of Patagonia by the Strait of Magellan, the Tierra del Fuego archipelago feels like the end of the earth. A rugged region of forests, bogs and glaciers shadowed by the southern stretch of the Andes. Ushuaia, the southernmost city on the planet, is the jumping-off point for cruises of the starkly beautiful Beagle Channel. The dazzling mountain scenery of the Parque Nacional Tierra del Fuego. And trips to Antarctica if you've got a spare few grand in your backpacking budget. 5. Salta and Jujuy. The bone-dry northwest is overlooked on many backpackers' itineraries. But the provinces of Salta and Jujuy are two of the most otherworldly places to go in Argentina. Base yourself in Salta, a quaint colonial city infused with indigenous culture. Then cherry-pick the day trips that tickle your fancy. Quebrada de Humahuaca is a gorge of rainbow-colored rocks wandering up towards Bolivia, peppered with ancient Quechuan villages like Tilcara and Humahuaca. Valles Calchaquis produces fruity bottles of Torrontés wine, with a trail of wineries within cycling distance of Cafayate. The Salinas Grandes salt flats might not be as vast as the much Instagrammed Uyuni in Bolivia, but they're a hell of a lot easier to get to. And you'll also have plenty to photograph in the rocky Quebrada de las Concas, the Cerro de los Siete Colores near Purmamarca, and the cactus-covered landscape of Catamarca. Remember the backdrop of those Roadrunner cartoons? That's pretty much exactly what this part of the world looks like for real. 6. Mendoza. Speaking of wine, you'll find it by the barrel in Mendoza, South America's capital of vino. This leafy city represents the hub of Cuyo, the grape-growing region where lofty Andean peaks provide a stunning backdrop to your bottle of red. Mendoza is famous for the Malbec varietal, and the area is brimming with bodegas where you can sample a world-class drop minus the price tag. Maipú, a short trip down the Uco Valley, is full of wineries and olive farms. Time your trip in March or April to sample the fresh harvest under golden autumn leaves. 7. Peninsula Valdez. Wondering where to visit in Argentina for whale watching? Book a bed in Puerto Madryn. Jutting out into the Atlantic on the east coast of Patagonia, the Peninsula Valdez features more marine life than a screening of Finding Nemo. The home to southern right whales, elephant seals, orcas, guanacos, rheas, penguins and even sea lions you can snorkel with. Whale watching season runs from June to November, as these majestic mammals migrate to breed in the Golfo Nuevo. You can even spot them from the mainland between July and September. 8. Rosario. Only 4 hours drive from Buenos Aires, Rosario is a city that drops off a lot of travelers' plan of places to go in Argentina. But those who do spend the night in Rosario are spoiled by a stylish city packed full of history and culture. The birthplace of Che Guevara, Lionel Messi and the Argentine flag, with a string of monuments dotted around town. Perched on the banks of the Paraná River, Rosario plates up a bit of Argentine city life without the craziness of the capital. Boasting a bright blue facade and an even warmer welcome, Bon Voyage Hostel earns near-perfect reviews from guests, with a dizzying Hostelworld rating of 9.7. 9. Bariloche. Bariloche's snow-capped mountains, verdant forests, mouth-watering chocolatiers and Swiss-style chalets could have been transplanted straight out of Europe. Another famous part of Patagonia straddling the Chilean border, San Carlos de Bariloche to use its full name, sits on the serene shores of the Lago Nahuel-Huapi. Surrounded by slopes that welcome skiers and snowboarders over winter, June to October, then hikers and mountain bikers during the warmer months. Some of the best views of the lake come from Hospedaje Penthouse 1004, a comfortable hostel with huge windows gazing out over the water. 10. Córdoba. Argentina's second city is filled with a huge student population, putting on a party that tourists will love also. And no festival is bigger than the annual Oktoberfest, one of the biggest anywhere outside Germany. On top of the nightlife, Córdoba boasts beautiful colonial-era architecture, a trove of museums, art galleries, parks, cafes and craft markets. And also a mass of outdoor adventures at the base of the Sierras Chicas mountains nearby. The Agua de Oro River is a particularly calm stream trickling through the countryside.
Subscribe.